name is Oliver Luck, Commissioner and CEO of the XFL. We're very excited to start this week sending out commissioners' invitations to hundreds of players that we've identified out of thousands that we've looked at over the past couple of months. These young men, very talented football players, are helping us build our player draft pool. This is the first step in the process of building the rosters that we will see February of 2020 when we launch.
And welcome to the XFL Talk Show. I'm Dirty. This is a one joint production, a universal production of One Universal Productions and In the Zone Network. I am Dirty, sitting right over there across from me. It looks like he's right next beneath me, but he's not. He's directly across from me. The one, the only, the A-Train himself.
Arlington Lane in the building. And, I'm so happy to be here today. Oh, yes.
Now remember,
the XFL STL Show.
Welcome to the show. The video that you guys just saw was Oliver Luck starting us off, talking about how we are sending invitations out to players. Which is cool.
Yes.
Which is cool. So it's getting closer.
Yep.
It's getting to become more and more reality.
Exactly.
To us.
As a matter of fact, one of the first invitations that went out was to former Memphis Express quarterback Brandon Silvers.
Yes, I saw that.
Brandon Silvers is excited, but hey, my man Will.
Do me a favor. Take that chair. That chair's in your shot. It's irritating me. Yeah, no, just push it up against the wall. There we go.
Like that?
Now we're good.
All right.
We good. There we go.
So, my man Will Freeman put out the news about Brandon Silvers.
Will is an amazing dude.
Yes, he is.
For us.
He knows when he finds it, it's going to be made sure that it comes up.
What are you doing over there, dog?
I was making sure I got my video together.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what the video was.
Okay. So, you can watch us everywhere you want. You can watch us right here on Facebook Live, or you can watch us on YouTube at One Universal Productions. We got some big news before the season. We've been working on a lot of things.
Indeed.
We got a website getting ready to start being launched, so you'll be able to watch us there. You can also check us out at
the In the Zone Network and in AllianceXFL.com. That's where we be.
That's
Alliance
right.
XFL on. Look, as Homer shows, he's ready for the XFL, baby.
I love it. I love that.
But man, big ups to everybody that's continued to like the page.
Yes.
And
Big
that's following us. And crazy enough today, I think I'm gonna throw his name out there.
Go ahead, let's do it.
Freddie Cochran, my brother. I appreciate you reaching out to XFL STL. And I believe that, anybody that's 6'4", 320 pounds should get some love, and that he wants some recognition to possibly get into the XFL.
Right.
So if anybody's watching with the XFL, look, this guy is ready, man.
Stephanie, if you're watching, hit us up. You know how to get a hold of us. We will send you guys the info.
Yeah.
Go check him out.
We'll see. Yeah.
Go check him out. Let's give the dude a chance.
Phone lines open 314-448-9670.
Yep, you see it right there. What's up, Corey? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're getting a lot of traction with this. You can watch us on In the Zone Network over there on Facebook.
Yeah.
We got it shared over there. You can watch us to the Alliance to XFL
Yeah.
on Facebook. So you can watch us everywhere. And you guys know how to join in. You guys want to join in? Hit us up in the chat. Call in, and we are very interactive with you guys. This show is really built around you guys. We're fans just like you guys.
Oh man, you just don't understand it.
Man. We were the first.
We were
the first
live
show.
Yeah.
We're not a podcast.
No.
We're a video cast.
Not. Hey, big ups to Al Fennell.
Yep.
Alistair Fennell. If you get a chance to check out his article about it pertained to familiar faces possibly being in the XFL.
Right, exactly.
So, he's doing a wonderful job, contributing as well to the Alliance XFL, and grateful to have him on board. And we got a lot of good things, man.
We do a lot of good things. We got a lot of good people working with this. And much up to all of you guys. Thank you guys all for joining us and jumping on board and helping us out with all this. Like Will, we couldn't do it without Will. We couldn't do it without Al.
Nope.
John up there at a football.
John Taylor, yeah, my man.
Up there at a football world.
David Burnett.
There's our man Javier.
Yeah.
Down there in was he Tampa, right? No, not Tampa.
No, Orlando.
He's
in Orlando.
So,
yeah.
Javier, you got our email. You got to send us over your address because once the gear comes out, we're sending you stuff.
Yeah.
There's our man John Turner from a football world.
And big ups to my man Stefan Ratchick, man, with XFL Newsroom. Can't call it 2K anymore.
No, can't call it 2K.
XFL Newsroom. He's doing an amazing job, and everybody at XFL board got an interview with Mike Mitchell that's be coming up tomorrow.
Right, and then we're going to play it XFL. Next week.
He'll play it on next week's show.
Because we're going to cut it up a little because it was a little long.
We had some things that we talked about and chopped it up with, and I was grateful to have him, man. And we're going to get some more guests pretty soon. We'll talk it over.
That's our boy Wyatt.
No, don't talk about that.
Oh, I see that. I ain't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
There's John. What's up, John?
Yes, sir. I think at this point now we're looking at how we'll get Howard Balzer on the show.
Yeah, we're gonna get Howard Balzer.
So stay tuned with that. I probably will get him after the team names are announced.
Yeah.
And then we got another big name we can't announce just yet.
Nope, we can't.
It'll probably be on the show.
We can't.
Thank you for those that are tuning in right now.
But I do want to let's talk because we actually have had some things talked about as of recently.
Indeed.
The biggest thing they were talking about with everything, the draft getting ready to come up, all that good stuff. The one thing I found was very interesting because we had talked about this.
Yeah.
Were they going to do drug testing?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Right.
And so today, was it today?
The announcement of that Oliver Luck announcement that we played in the open.
Yeah, but it was more along the lines of that they are going to start interviewing players.
Yes.
Start signing players.
Yes.
And stuff. And here it is. Let's see.
You can go to XFL.com. You can pull it up.
Oh yeah. Why am I worried about here? I was going to our page to pull it up.
Right. And then I want you if you get an opportunity to pull up the tweets from team president Kurt Honecker.
Yeah, those will all be on here.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we're gonna hear from Will Freeman. So, as a matter of fact, Will, if you're by the phone, go ahead and call.
Yeah, Will, you know Will.
We got to hear the XFL STL report. But in the meantime, I'm very happy with what Oliver Luck.
Okay, so yeah, here it is. I found it. Okay, so let me get
my
to
commissioner.
Our commissioner.
Our commissioner.
Who's better than your commissioner?
Exactly, better than your commissioner, Oliver Luck. He is doing whatever it takes to make it, the best alternative league there is,
Yes.
That means better than what the USFL did, better what the Alliance did, of course.
Right.
But I think I'm getting more excited for the league as a whole.
Oh, I am too. 100%.
Yeah.
So here's what he says.
Got it.
So here's what Commissioner Luck says. So this was August. So this was today.
Yeah.
The NFL Commissioner and CEO Oliver Luck this week will start to invite an exclusive list of top free agent players to be part of the league's first draft pool. So you heard in the video they extended, but what I really like is that the XFL will be conducting its first player draft in October, and including current and former professional football players. Each football player, hold on, Will.
That's him? Okay.
Yeah. Will, you there?
Yep.
All right, hold on, buddy.
Yeah, stay right there.
Let me finish reading this. It said the XFL will conduct its first draft in October, including current and former football players. Each of the league's 8 teams will draft 70 players. And then what I like underneath, it says the players who accept the commissioner's invitation must complete and sign a HIPAA release form and consent to clear a background check. Only those players meeting 2 basic requirements will be considered fully draft eligible. If drafted, a player must then successfully pass a medical exam and drug test and subsequently execute to an XFL player contract.
Yes.
And that is from Stephanie Rudnick.
Yeah, Stephanie Rudnick put that out, but it's also from from Oliver Luck.
It's also from Oliver Luck. So, big ups to Stephanie. Here's our man, Will. Will, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I was just checking to see if there's any more players that announced on social media that they got signed. So far, it's been Brandon Silvers.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only one that's been signed so far as of now.
See, Brandon.
Well, that has announced it publicly.
Well,
Let's make that clear.
It's announced it publicly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, Will, what are you thinking here? Because, if we talked about it earlier when we started this show, that that marijuana wasn't going to be an issue. So now with them doing a drug test, is marijuana going to be an issue? Or are they just going to kind of back off? Then we're looking more like for steroids, performance enhancing stuff like that.
I would think it'd probably be more performance enhancers because I believe Alvin Luck said in one review he was marijuana might be laxed or not, but that could have changed because, of course, even though he's the commissioner, Vince has the final say. So I don't know about marijuana, but more performance enhancers probably is the more troubling thing, and more of the other harder drugs, not marijuana, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree
then,
with that.
with marijuana being legal in almost every single state now,
Yeah.
it's getting to that point to where I don't know. Will, I need to get a new picture of you because,
I need to put a new profile picture myself.
you do, because it's the St. Louis Blues thing, man, and I can't stand looking at it, dude.
It was a good picture.
The only reason he's just being a hater right now because it's the St. Louis Blues. That's pretty much what it's about. He's gonna be sick for at least until the season starts in October.
Until they lose next year. So, Will, you heard us. We started off with Oliver Luck, which you released on our page off of the XFL. What is your take on it? I mean, how excited are you getting that the league is getting closer and closer and closer?
I'm happy, but think about the draft now because they now said that each team's going to have 70 players. Now my question is with the draft is like, how long do they have for each pick? Even though it's only 8 picks per round, the question is how long do they have a choice for a pick? Are there trades involved in this draft? That's something we still don't know yet, or is it just going to be a plain fantasy draft kind of scenario since we already know it's a snake type of draft? So that's more the curiosity I have it for right now.
Right, yeah. And I think that's what a lot of the curiosity of what a lot of people has. What's up, Corey? There's Augie. There's our man from New York who's got a team. Augie is starting to get on the bandwagon. He follows our show. They got the New York team. But he's starting to get on the XFL bandwagon, even though he's a damn Yankees fan. He's an idiot. That's okay. We'll forget.
Better than the Mets.
Yeah, there you go. Tell him, Will. Tell him, the Mets.
Better than be a Mets fan, just saying.
Hey, shut up, Will. What's wrong with you? Come on, Will. There goes my camera messing up. All right, Will, what else do you got for us? What's the other rumblings that you're hearing?
Well, so far, there has been some players that were in XFL Showcase that signed NFL rosters, like Benny Tesaverde's son. He signed with the Bucks, but he actually just got waived today, so he actually still has a chance to be in the XFL too, though I have not heard he's got claimed yet by any NFL team, so it's good because, like I said last week, we're less than a month away. I don't know if he'll sign with a team or he'll be in a practice squad or he'll be here for the XFL incoming season. So that's the more thing to look around is what players are getting waived right now, what players are not getting signed, and because you never know. Because I know, like I said, last chance you saw Ronald Ollie, he got cut, and I actually found out the whole story from that first episode of Hard Knocks. It's like, but,
yeah, right.
No one told him that he could get. He missed treatment. Apparently, no one told him to get treatment, which confused the heck out of me. So,
Yeah.
So, but he still probably still has an XFL chance shot, hopefully. But we'll see what happens there.
All right. So, as we're talking with Will Freeman, one of our XFL STL contributors here on the XFL STL live show, Will, talk a little bit about the recent tweets that our team president, Kurt Honeycutt, has spoken about a bit on social media.
He's a few days ago, he asked actually social media how many what was the daily birth rate for St. Louis for kids. I'm trying to think someone said it was 89, so he's getting set to do all getting the marketing ready and all that stuff, so hopefully team names is this month. Hopefully, if not, probably September. It's definitely going to be before the draft. That's a guarantee.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And, because out of all the marketing, it's going to be a little bit different for him because out of all the markets, there is no NFL team.
Right.
And so there's actually more of a trying to get the whole point of born and raised, because although most of, like, it has, I'm trying to remember, was it the 20s or 30s where there actually was a team born in St. Louis, but that didn't last very long?
Gunners,
I don't know, like,
stars. So
all that stuff. So
I think that's what you're referring to.
and there was the Gunners, but that was like some type of weird situation, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it's more of a barnstorming kind of team is what they refer to as. So
this is definitely, like, in a long time, the first team that we have here in St. Louis that's actually born here. It's not some team that got moved somewhere else.
right.
So it's going to be different, and I'm interested to see what he does. Like, for me personally, I'm wanting to see, because the number one thing to get people's attention to go to XFL game is the price of tickets. I want to know that. That's probably the number one thing besides finding out what the team name is.
Right. You got to know what the price is.
Exactly. So here it is. So this is from Kurt Hungzinger. It says, building at XFL STL front office is establishing a business plan, engaging with community leaders, and preparing for our birthday emoji winky face. Get ready to have some fun. STL soon. XFL STL born and raised. Now that is from our commissioner, straight out of his mouth.
Our team president.
Oh yeah, team president. That's right.
Yeah.
And our team president is better than your team.
I think I'm excited for the most is that if he's saying what I think he's saying, that Friday nights he's going to be showing his face or showing himself at these football games. You know what that means? Friday night football is big here. It's starting to get bigger here in St. Louis.
In certain areas.
Right. So
high school football is huge.
Exactly. And do you think, Will, that could be a possible training ground for some potential XFL players?
What are you thinking, Will?
Probably in the future, not right now, unless because I know they're still looking for some players that might not be eligible for the NFL draft. That was one thing I saw in one post earlier today. So,
for the
like,
is that
I'm hoping I don't know who it is. Hoping we get, like, what the whole pool of players is that actually get invited before the actual draft. So it'll be like, okay, let's rank these players out of this position here, offense, like quarterback, running back. Because so far, like, if I was making number one, Brandon Silvers, because that's the only one, that he'll be the first pick because he's the only one that announced it.
Correct. Yeah.
That's true.
You're right.
That's true. There'll be some more, and we'll definitely see that as time progresses. Anything else you got for us today?
Let me think here. No, like, the only thing I know of is that there was that one thing that was reported with the Netherlands, and that turned out to be false. And I was disappointed because the guy that first reported was part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Academy. So I was like, wow, it's like kind of weird for that type of organization to find out that was false. So I was disappointed with that.
Now here's the thing: I found out if you're on Facebook and you get an opportunity, check out a Football World discussion group. My man Dave's in there. John is there. So John, I am giving you a plug for Football World. So don't get mad at me, okay? They have been talking everything, arena, even talking about some things I didn't even know about.
I
didn't even know about the German Football League, man. Like, there's actual teams in Germany that are sitting there playing American associated football.
Frankfurt's number one up there.
See, look, there you go. And this is not NFL Europe either, folks. I'm talking about this is a German football league where they're playing football rules. They're playing American football rules. And then not only that, there's a Mexican league as well. There's
some other leagues too. There's some in Japan. When I did an article on those two Japanese players, and at the showcase there were two international players. One from Brazil, a wide receiver, and there was actually an offensive lineman from Japan that was at the showcase in St. Louis.
Yeah, there really was.
So I'm like, hey,
so like football, like, for what we think of it's growing or being stagnant here in the U.S., it's actually growing outside of the U.S., the sport of football.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, he goes, y'all should plug the best group in the world. But yeah, thanks. We just did, John. We just did, John.
We just did.
Now we want our money, John, for plugging you. Because I don't see you plugging us on your page, John.
Yeah. See that?
But if you want, it's like Arlington said and like Will said, if you really want some really good like overall football talk.
Yeah.
Go to a football world discussion.
Yeah, like
Definitely.
beyond. I'm talking about like
Everything.
They talk everything football. Arena League. They talk, like I said, the German League, the Mexican League. They talk about them all, man. It's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
IFL, I'm talking about indoor football, man. Come on, you serious? They talk about that too. It's football. That's the point.
Right, yeah.
So you can almost imagine when college football gets around how big that's going to be too. So, you know, you said I said that after you said it. Yes, John. Keep up with us, baby. All right.
All right, Will. What else? You got anything else for us?
Nothing I know about, far as I know. Like, I'm going to keep looking for what players announce. Like, I'm waiting to hear the local players. The only thing that I know about is that earlier, so this was before the announcements of the invite, so Jamie Watson, Mizzou wide receiver, he announced on Twitter that he was taking a head coaching job.
Yep.
I am unsure if that was, I'm not sure if it's high school. I'm thinking it's probably something lower, like, you know, youth league or junior high, because announcements this late, I doubt it's high school. So,
right. Yeah.
So hopefully, like, maybe his plans will change if he gets an invite or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I know some people be seeing if Johnny Manziel gets one. So yeah,
Very interesting what happens.
Right. Exactly.
All right, Will.
All right, Will. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye.
My man Will Freeman, man.
There's our man Will Freeman.
Contributes a lot to the XFL
Yes, he
STL
does.
Talk Show, and man, some more news that just came up from my man Scott Anthony. Said Brandon Maiden and Marcel Frazier, they posted their invites on Twitter as well. So along with Brandon Silvers, we got 3 players now that are indicating, you know, that they're part of the invitations from Mr. Oliver Luck, which means he has a lot more that he's putting out soon. So
And you know, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead,
I'm a
man.
douchebag. I apologize. Yes, John, I'm a dick.
My man said turn the game down, so I guess
Who said turn it down?
No. You know what? I'll move away from the microphone. Okay, if you can hear me from here,
Where'd you see that at?
I got it on my watch party because I'm getting up too close.
Oh.
So I'm gonna sit back here.
Should we start going like this tonight?
Yes, let's start doing that.
We did have a complaint that we were talking too loud.
A major complaint at that as well.
Right. And I said thank you for your criticism. That's awful nice of you.
He's like, guys, I just want you guys to succeed as well.
Right. No, that wasn't him. That was somebody else. It's a different guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We got a call from Al. Al, you there?
Yes, it's me, Al.
What's
How you
up,
guys
buddy?
doing with you?
How you doing, Al?
Nothing much.
Right? So what do you got for us?
Ooh. Well, I wanted to talk about, you know, what I'm looking for players for the upcoming XFL draft. You know, I wrote an article about free agent players that are still available.
Go for
Hello?
it, man.
Go for it. You did.
Yeah, I sure did. The one player I did mention was that a running back by the name of L.J. Scott out of Michigan State. Now, he wasn't drafted, but he's an interesting player that, you know, could be available in the XFL if he's given a shot.
Yep.
He did try out for the Cleveland Browns, but, you know, he just walked away and everything else. I don't know what was the reason and everything else. But, you know, if he's given a shot, you know, he can make some noise in that league.
Right? Well,
And another,
hold on. I don't mean to cut you off, Al. I mean, I've read your articles, but you're right. A lot of these players that we've seen in the NFL that have been cut, or these young college kids that actually were really good in college, but because they had a little bit of a shady past that didn't get a shot, there's a lot of good football players out there. I mean, the Alliance wasn't slop football. It was actually decent football.
Yep.
You know?
And I'll argue with that all day with anybody that talks bad about the Alliance, that the game itself wasn't bad. It actually was growing week in and week out. But my thing was, it wasn't even about the game that was bad. It was the finances.
Right.
It was behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like each week you had, let's see, the lowest one, at least you had 6-figure numbers every week.
Right. Exactly.
At least 6
Yeah.
figure numbers.
Yeah.
So to sit there and say that there's no need for football, that's got to be a lie, man. Because you're sitting there and what they were up against, you're going against again.
Right.
NCAA basketball. You're going against NBA. You're going against hockey. You know what I mean? And so those are the major things that you're dealing with. And they still was maintaining decent audiences on cable.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Another thing I expect is that, if you watch Netflix Last Chance of the U, you're going to see some players that who were cut in the NFL are going to move into the XFL and everything and try out. And you might see them, perform real well in the league.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Because you NCAA basketball.
Don't you love that when that happens?
Did you just do that?
No, I didn't. The Limp Ghost did it.
But yeah, that's the thing. You'll get an opportunity to possibly see some players anywhere. Like my man Jeremiah Spicer.
Right.
Like I really
Yes.
think that if you read some of the tweets that he puts out, like the XFL is going to be in his future. You know what I mean? And so, and I hope. I mean, if he does make it to the NFL, I'm happy for him. For real, I really am. But I think the
Me too.
XFL is going to be something really big for him in this league.
I think, my opinion, myself, I think he's smarter going to the XFL because I think he'll be more of a star in the XFL than he
Right.
would in the NFL.
And we're going to make an article about that, about creating the next XFL star.
Oh, I think
so-
they already have. He's just not
Yeah.
anywhere yet.
Yeah, just not yet. Right.
So what else you got for us, Al?
Okay, two things. Another player that I'll be watching for is he got cut from the Arizona Cardinals. I can't pronounce his name. His first name was Robert.
I know who you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about. It's that real
Yeah.
I know you're on here. What's that dude's
Is
name?
it
Yeah, he was
Condaway or
supposed to
something
be-
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to be one of the best defensive ends to ever come out of college. Out of Ole Miss and everything else. This thing just fell apart for the for the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
I want to see that guy in the XFL because I want to see what he can do if he can rebuild his career through that league. I mean, you've seen some players who in the past that didn't do well in the NFL first went to the spring league like the USFL, come back and play in the NFL and do well and everything. A perfect example was Reggie White.
Right.
He went to University of Tennessee. He wasn't highly scouted in the NFL, but he played for the Memphis Showboats, and the Philadelphia Eagles saw what he did, and he's now a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So I can see that guy, Robert, whatever his last name, I can see him become the next Reggie White in a sense.
Yeah.
Another thing, too, I tweeted about Rich Paul, and
Yes.
I suggested that, if I were Rich Paul, I would hook up with his group should hook up with the XFL.
You know what?
Since the XFL is talking about getting players, in the league and after their first year of college and everything else, and why not? Because the NCAA, let's face it, is one of the most corrupt, groups right now here in the United States. Exploiting all these players, especially from the inner city, whether it be college basketball or football.
Al, I'm gonna cut you off for just a second. Here's the reason why. Only thing I've seen right now from Rich Paul is about basketball players. Now, if he does decide to step out and do professional football, I could be wrong. I've seen mostly basketball players in his group, and I see where you're going because of the quote unquote Rich Paul rule that has been presented now from the NCAA. And I would love to see that happening, but if anything, I don't think he's going to handle it because he handles mostly basketball.
Right.
And then that sounds one-sided, and I get it, but
I tweeted to him suggesting that he should also involve himself in football, because the same thing that's going on in college basketball is the same thing that's going on in college football and everything else.
But you have to understand, Al, is that college football is a bigger believe it or not, is a bigger magnet than college basketball. And so right now, Rich Paul is not really involved in that. But even though he should be involved in that because I think he gets something more massive with football. But a lot of these guys, he's getting bigger contracts from basketball.
Right.
And so that's where his bigger checks are coming from. Now, don't get me wrong, football is the biggest moneymaker, but his contracts he's getting from basketball is where that's at.
Right, exactly.
So I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and knock and be like, yeah, he should do that. No. I think right now he's fine where he's located. Al, but I appreciate you coming on board, man.
Yeah.
Make sure that you tell everybody where they can find the article.
You can find my article on Alliance 2XFL. Read it. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll come back with some more articles in the next couple of weeks.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Take care. Have a nice evening.
You too, buddy.
You too, Alistair Fennell, man.
Here's what I love is we have people from all over. We're associated with people from all over. Guys like Al.
Yep.
Guys like John.
Yep.
Guys like Will. And the one thing that I liked what Kurt said about the whole St. Louis thing. Watch out for Friday nights. XFL St. Louis, born and raised.
Right.
This, Will brought it up. He said that we've never had a team that was actually built here in St. Louis.
Correct.
Really, the only thing that we had was the Blues and the Cardinals.
Now, this is for you. The only reason why I say that, because it happened to be said on my watch party.
What?
All right. There's a comment from Dark Master Mr. 18.
Oh, he's an idiot.
He says this. WrestleMania's next to come to St. Louis once the XFL wait and the city of St. Louis proves on year one that we are the place to be. Corey now responded to that. He said, yeah, right. It'll never come.
Okay, listen. This isn't a wrestling show, but I'll address it.
No, but before you even do that, I'm going to even throw this out there.
Okay, go ahead.
At Raw
Mm-hmm.
Monday night,
Mm-hmm.
there were pictures online saying that there were more XFL promos being delivered.
Uh-huh.
So they just showed like the 8 cities and whatnot. And
I didn't see that.
No, because they did it in the arena.
Right, yeah.
They did it on the Jumbotron and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So I see what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They get people geared up and ready, try to get them ready while WWE and fans and whatnot. But I'm here, I'm like, can we keep them separate?
Exactly, thank you.
Can we keep them separate?
Exactly.
I love you, Dark Master Mr. 18, but we got to keep things separate here.
Listen.
The floor is yours.
Listen. It's never coming to St. Louis. WrestleMania is never coming here. That's why we're lucky if we get a Raw or a SmackDown one a year. St. Louis cannot hold a WrestleMania. There's nothing big enough in this area to hold a WrestleMania. I've been to them. I've been from 30 all the way to 35. The Dome could not support a WrestleMania.
All right. So
It couldn't do it. It couldn't do it. But what's going to happen is year one. Year one. This team right over here, the XFL team, they're going to win the XFL championship.
Hey, I don't need no
Plain and simple.
I don't need no silly name for the XFL championship. XFL championship will do just fine.
Right, yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Right.
So,
So Corey over here says that he wants to see Mizzou's own Marcus Gold play in the XFL. Play
Man.
for St. Louis.
you know something? I would love to see several Mizzou players playing here.
Well, we did post Blaine Gabbard.
We did, yeah. Then let's talk about that a bit. So we posted Blaine Gabbard, and I mean, we got an nice, overwhelming response.
Yes.
Saying, yeah, bring him here.
Right?
Bring him here. Because I think St. Louis born and bred put him out there at quarterback. Now, he said SummerSlam. I even doubt the Rumble was here.
Mhm.
We've had the Rumble. SummerSlam, no.
No, it's the second biggest
You have to
pay-per-view.
understand it's a destination city.
Exactly. There's unfortunately,
It's not that.
There's nothing here in St. Louis to do. Because after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, downtown St. Louis is dead.
And so my thing is this. Let's leave that out. As David Burnett jumps on mine and says the X Bowl. You down for the X Bowl? No.
No, leave it.
I'm not.
XFL Championship.
What's wrong? What is wrong with the XFL Championship? Okay, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Leave that
Oh,
alone.
here we go. This one's good. The
Say-
XFL will have some coaches in Europe for international showcases next month. Don't be surprised to see a few guys from abroad.
Now, see that,
I'm
Mike.
okay with that.
But here's the thing, Mike. The story behind that was false. And if this is that same story that was talking about that's going to happen in the Netherlands, that turned out to be a scam.
Right. Exactly.
So let's be careful about that. If there's now, I haven't really seen anything about an international showcase, and I follow some good XFL heads.
Oh yeah.
that
Exactly.
have been reporting on that. Now, if that's the case, then yes, but I don't think that's going to happen. Granted, there have, like we stated before in this show, that there have been some international players at these showcases,
Yes, there have.
and that's where, like, if that's the case, and they do make a roster, it lets me know that diversity was in the XFL's mind, and they're skillful enough, not just sitting there because they are players, but if they're skillful enough, it lets me know that diversity has been in their minds from day one.
Right,
Just
yeah.
that from what's being seen, you say, is XFL going to be better? At this
You.
rate right now, yes. And the reason why I say that is because it's not going to be the gimmicky 2001 version
All
that
right.
we had before. And I'm
going to cut you off.
Sure.
Keep that thought because listen,
I don't care.
this is not a wrestling show. This is not a wrestling show. So okay, listen. If you have not been to a WrestleMania, okay, WrestleMania is an automatically 70,000 plus people. Okay, Money in the Bank is not a very big pay-per-view. It barely gets 15,000 people. The Chamber barely gets 15,000 people. SummerSlam, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, is a minimum of 70,000 people.
And the only reason we are mentioning this is because it's a Vince property.
Right, and everybody keeps saying it. So here's the thing. Yes, we get the smaller pay-per-views, but we did have a Survivor Series, but we won't get the big two, SummerSlam or Mania. We will not get them. So that's it. No more.
My man Javier,
There it is.
he said, I'll be at the Dome. It's going to be loud.
Javier, listen, we know where you live. We said, you come up, we have a place for you. Did we not? We have a place for Javier to
Yes.
stay.
We got
Javier,
him.
you come up and you can join us on the show and everything because you're a big supporter of us. We're sending you stuff. He's the man that came up with the Chaos name, which I hope that's the team name. Back to your
You
point.
are banking on that so
Back
hard.
to your point.
You are banking on that so hard, man.
Back to your point.
But the XFL is going to be better than it was in 2001, John Parker. I know you're listening in and watching us with us right now. It's going to be better than 2001. If you're thinking about saying the NFL, you might as well get off the page right now because we've already stated time in and time again that it's not going to be better than the NFL.
Right.
It's going to be its own entity. It's going to do its own thing. And yes, there will be NFL players that are going to be participating
Right.
in the XFL,
Mhm.
but that's all there is to it. All right.
Now, is it
So-
going to be, Corey wants to know, is it going to be hard hitting like it was the first time? To be honest,
It wasn't even hard hitting the first time.
thank you.
It wasn't hard because the minute after that first game, there was penalties being thrown for hard hits.
Left and right.
Then
Boom,
when
boom,
they did
boom, boom.
when they did the promos, they said it was going to be hard hitting. There was going to be less penalties, and they messed that up.
Right,
So
exactly.
I'm like, at this point, they looking at it from a player safety standpoint. If you want hard hits, they're gonna show all of the players when training camp comes in November and December. Whether they have the training camps in November, then they'll have the practices going down in January.
Right,
The
yes.
official practice is going in January.
Exactly.
So when all that
December is
together-
going to be the draft.
right, the
Or no,
players,
October.
October, right. November is when the training camps begin.
Yep.
And then January, they'll do scrimmages and, like kind of what they did with the Alliance. And then in February was when the actual games will begin.
Yeah, because by that time, the NFL will be already set with their players.
Exactly.
By that time, because now you're talking, by the time we get into November, we're already halfway through the season of football of the
Yep.
NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We're already halfway through this season.
All right, John Parker just responded and
Okay.
said it's going to be hard hitting and it won't be as much of a clown show as it was the first time, but it will still be playing at the big top and clown music will be played in the background.
I don't
I'm
think
sure.
so.
I think what you're gaining at is from what they did back in 2001 and thinking that most of them gimmicks are still going to happen. No, they said they were focusing on football, and focusing on football is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, you're not going to see spine busters
And
I'm
clotheslines.
sorry. I'm sorry, dude. That's not happening. As much as they promoting player safety.
Right.
That is what they're going to focus on. And so the top and clown music it's not going to happen. Granted, it's going to give the feel like an XFL game with like a Rams game was.
Right. Yeah,
You have
yeah,
music in between stuff, and then when it's time for play, music goes off.
Right.
So that's where it's going to lead towards. And thinking of that, since they're with Disney and Fox,
Right.
I don't think that clown show is going to ever happen.
No.
The presentation that they're looking at, especially from what they did with the Spring League, is going to be probably bar none the best presentation you'll probably see from an alternative football.
100%. So here, Danny Johnson just says, who will be the first XFL overall pick? Okay. We only know of a few players already have announced. Okay. To really say who that number one pick's going to be,
That's going to be hard.
It's either going to be a quarterback or a running back.
It depends on the wide receivers too.
That is true.
Whoever's the wide receiver.
But regardless of who that player is, I can tell if it's Johnny Manziel's there, Johnny Manziel will be the first pick.
Yep.
If Johnny Manziel's there, he'll be the first pick.
Yep.
If Johnny's not there and it's Trent Richardson will be the first pick.
And that'd be hard for me to just sit there and just put it on Trent Richardson to be the very
You're
first
right.
pick, man.
But I will tell you this. The player that will be the superstar of this league, he's just right out there. Isn't he somewhere in some kind of camp right now? Training camp right now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't he there?
Oh, Will just said that there will be no free agency.
Right. Yeah. But isn't... Yeah, and John's right. It depends on what team is picking first.
Exactly.
But there's a guy that's in charge of training camp right now that if he doesn't make that team and comes to the XFL, which we know he is because he's already said it, that's the star. Jeremiah Spicer will be the star of the XFL.
Now, the reason why my man John Parker is continuously saying it's a clown show league because, one, he's a big NFL guy. And it's like, if it ain't the NFL, I don't give a damn what it is.
You know what? I'm a big NFL fan.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's nothing. NFL is going to be the NFL, but your commissioner sucks, and you know that.
Here's the thing.
Let's get an understanding of that.
I love the WWE.
Yep.
But I'm excited that AEW's coming. That's coming.
Right.
It's an alternative.
And exactly right. And so it's like everything now that they don't want anything new.
This is the
and I'm sick of that. Sick of that. I'm sick of everybody saying that. But then you sit there and you complain about the norm all of the time.
Right.
You sit there and bitch and moan.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, the NFL don't have a rule. They won't let them do this, that, and the other. But then when the XFL come in, which is already, now I'll say it again, just for you.
Well,
clowns
John
to
just said
understand.
here, every team has their first few picks already figured out, which I agree with them. They probably do. This is what I like about it. But go on, finish your point.
But okay, now he's responding. He's saying he's not an NFL guy. Okay, but here's my thing. Let me ask you this, John. Do you like change? Do you want change? Because if memory serves me correctly from posts I've seen that doesn't pertain to it, you want change. So at this point, you want to get behind it, but you're looking at it from the outside in because of what happened in the past back in 2001.
Well, and a lot of people are looking at,
of course,
they're looking at the USFL.
Yep.
Looking at it.
Correct.
Looking at
the Alliance
failures.
failures.
The Alliance failed. Let's look at some other leagues that have failed. I mean, literally, go to our man right now, John Turner, a football world discussion. He's got so much goddamn football on there, it'd make your head spin. I'm serious.
Right.
I didn't realize, like we said earlier, how many different leagues are out there.
Right. There is football everywhere.
And people are buying it up and people are watching it. I mean, hell, you could go on Fight TV right now. You could go on Bleacher Report right now. You could go on any of these apps right now and watch a football game right now.
Yep.
I mean, NFL Network got behind the Alliance football, but the Alliance was piss poor, ran poorly. That's why they failed.
If you are trying to call me right now, the number is 314-448-9670.
You see the numbers scrolling right there on the bottom.
You see it on the screen, 314-448-9670. Don't call me.
No.
You want your voice to be heard, so now you're getting the opportunity to
This
do
is
so.
your guys' show, more than it's just ours. This is your guys' show, too.
So my thing is this, because I know who's about to call in. Oh, is it that the former MMWA champ?
Yep, that's Brian James, the former MMWA champion.
What's good, sir? What's good? But my thing is this.
So there's John. So we're gonna have coverage from the Atlanta Spring League because John's gonna be there. So you can go check it out on John's page, and then you can come right over to the XFL STL Talk Show right here on Facebook, and we'll have Facebook and YouTube and have it there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Here goes. Danny says, now will XFL games, if you've been paying attention to us, they announced where they're announcing the games. It is, and here we go.
My man.
Caller, you're live.
Hi, this is Sean Parker.
What's up, John?
Parker, the coach himself.
How you guys?
Nope.
Oh,
First of all, I want to tell you.
Go ahead, John.
First, I want to tell you guys got a great show. I'm paying attention to you. And nice to see you back on the air train, boy. What's going on?
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, listen. Let me clear some things up. First of all, I am not a fan of the NFL because here's how I feel. When you get $2 $8 million running backs on your roster, who the hell's going to block? Okay, because those guys don't get paid to block; they get paid to run the ball. So there's too much money involved in the NFL to begin with. So I am not an NFL fan. I watch 3 games a year. It didn't start to the playoffs, and it's over with.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. Second, with regard to the new league, I'm happy that we have some sort of professional football back in St. Louis. Okay.
Right.
I don't care if it's the Alliance or the XFL, but
hold on, John. Go ahead.
okay. I mean, I don't care if it's the XFL or the Alliance or something. But I have, I'm happy that there's a professional football team back in St. Louis for sure. All right, but let's not get hello.
Go ahead, man. I'm listening.
Let's not get any delusions of grandeur here. Okay, the guys who are going to be playing in this league are going to be 3rd and 4th tier players in the NFL, not 2nd tier. Okay.
Okay.
The 2nd tier player is not going to put himself in a position to get hurt because those 2nd tier players are on the waiver lines or practice squads.
Right.
And they're not going to risk it playing in the WWE league. Okay. They're not going to risk. They're not going to risk that type of injury factor.
Wait a minute, John. There you go. This is why I like John, because John likes to do this stuff. I used to do this on his show.
Right.
So, John, the reason why you called it a WWE league is because of the man that's behind the league, correct?
Well, listen, the guy's a clown. I mean, it really is.
That's where you basing that off of. You're not basing it on the league itself. You're basing it on the guy that's running the league.
Well, at the end of the day,
But
here's the thing that no different than the guy sitting in the White House. He's a clown.
If you've been following the stories, you know that Vince is just out of the picture. It's just because his name is behind it is why everybody's calling it a clown show. But you should already know that there are football guys that are already in place for this league, correct? Correct?
I've known Jonathan Hayes.
John, that's a yes or no question, right?
I've known Jonathan Hayes for a long time.
We talking about John Hayes, man. We talking about football guys like Oliver Luck.
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm very familiar with a lot of the coaches in this league, okay, and they're quality coaches. So I don't have any doubt that it's going to be different than what it was, okay? Because everybody knows that was a clown show last time.
Of course.
Okay, that was.
We all know it was a clown show. Even us sitting here in the studio know it was a clown show.
But I'm saying this. Don't don't get some delusional dreams that this is going to be, this spectacular league that's going to be on completely on the up and up, and it's not going to be, minor league baseball with Jack Russell Terriers running across the field at halftime.
Now, hold on.
Okay, because it is. It is.
John, hold on. We're not saying we're not saying it's going to be as good as the NFL. We're not saying
no, it's never going to be as good as the NFL. I mean,
but what we're saying
you're talking about a league that owns a day of the week.
Alternative to the NFL. And I'll go back to the example, and Dr. Drew hates it when I do it. Who's getting ready to join us for the MMWA talk show? The MMWA talk show.
You better say no.
It's like the WWE is the pinnacle of all wrestling, just like the NFL is the pinnacle of all wrestling. Now you have this other little upstart company called AEW that is coming up. The wrestling's not going to be where WWE is, just like the XFL is not going to be like where the NFL is. But what it's going to have is it's going to have above average players that weren't at that top tiered level of football to play, and it's going to be a decent game because of the different things that they're doing. I mean, the rule book is to be released sometime this week or next week, and then it'll really show us how the game is going to be and how the game will evolve. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but let's back up here. Did you actually call the WWE wrestling?
Now, see this Robert with him. Like,
I was thinking that was more like a Broadway choreographed show.
Come on, dude. Come on, man.
That's like a Broadway choreographed show. That's not actually wrestling now.
John, you doing this on purpose. You doing
No, I'm asking.
Turn him down.
Did you really call the WWE wrestling?
Turn him down.
No, I didn't call it wrestling. I call it sports entertainment.
Exactly what we were trying to get you to understand. This is going to be a form of entertainment. But what he was trying to get you to understand is that the WWE is at the top of sports. No, don't hang up.
Oh, okay.
Is at the top of sports entertainment, and then you have an alternative. That's the same thing. That's what's going to happen with the NFL and the XFL.
Right.
And that's the thing. People don't like change. They don't.
I love change. I am a big fan of change.
So what is keeping you? It's Vince McMahon, right? That's what you have a problem with. It's Vince, right?
No, what's keeping me from going all in on the XFL is simply because. Listen, I will never go all in on something like this because what they're trying to do is be some sort of and you said a good alternative. I'm only going to go with an alternative. It's an alternative to the NFL, okay? And I'll agree with you on that. But you're talking about a totally different time of year, which means you're not going to get your second-tier player. You're going to get your third, your fourth-tier player at best. Because a second-tier player is not going to risk playing this stuff, okay? They're just not going to do it. And that, I don't know if that's going to decrease the value of the league or the quality of the league. Okay, but I will agree with you. It is an alternative because, and Train, I've said this 1,000 times. If we're going to put some in that dome, I got 3 other letters for you. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
The NBA.
In the dome?
In the dome.
All right.
You do realize,
Thank you, John.
You do realize we had a basketball team here. And
you know why they left? You know why they left?
Yeah, because they didn't get fan support.
No,
they didn't leave because they didn't get fan support.
Okay.
John,
you know why they left?
I know where you're going, but don't do that here.
You know why they left, Train? You know why they left.
I know.
Can I give them one name, Train? Can I give them one name, please?
Go ahead.
You know why they left?
You go.
Why?
Let's go.
Guy's name was Augie Bush. That's why they're out of here. That's why the Hawks left. That's why the Spirits were never going to be successful. Because that guy was a baseball nut and didn't want to share anything.
So then why are the Blues still here? Because they're the biggest piece of trash of all of in professional hockey.
That's right. But you know what? The Blues got their own house.
Okay.
Blues got their own house. You know why the NBA works now?
So did the
You know why the NBA works now?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
You understand why it works? Why it would work now?
It's trash now.
No.
Yeah.
It would work now. One, because Augie Bush is out of here, and InBev owns that brewery, and they don't care.
Okay.
They just want another. There would be another venue for them to put their product in, and we get 31 games over the wintertime. So all those little mom and pop restaurants down by the dome that did well when the Rams were here for their little 8-week stint every year, those restaurants now get 31 games downtown. They get to reopen after they've been closed since Ballpark Village raped them.
Hey, all right. Thank you, man.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you,
we
dude.
appreciate
it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. One,
Thank you, John.
basketball's not going to work at St. Louis.
Thank you, John.
It didn't work then when we actually had a team that was a perennial challenger that beat possibly the greatest team ever, the Boston Celtics, that won 8 straight championships. And in that time span of 10 years, they won 9 of those 10.
It's a lot deeper than what he said. But
So-
my thing is this. All right. Granted, the Dome is going to have...
You're not going to fit
football.
60,000 in there for basketball. You're
No.
just not going to.
No.
You're not going to.
And I couldn't believe he said put it in the Dome, but that's a whole nother story.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But my thing is this, that it's time for change. It's time for another alternative. And
Exactly.
it's not going to be bad.
No.
Okay? Now, I'm optimistic about it. I'm going to sit back. I'll be there in the press box. I'll be on the field, whatever,
You're
man.
right. We will be.
Yeah, we'll be there. And we'll definitely showcase to everyone that
You're
it's
right.
not what
We
you
will.
think. Just that simple, man.
Right. And this is the XFL
Is it over?
STL Talk Show. Yeah, dog.
Oh, my God.
It's over, man. It's amazing, ain't it?
Golly.
Well, actually, I think we got like 4 minutes left, really.
Oh, okay.
But people were really starting to get into it. They're like, man, I got to get my popcorn ready.
Nah, because they want to hear more John, man. That's what that was about.
But I mean, look, I was being polite because you knew him.
Yes.
I was being polite. You know
yeah,
me.
thank you.
I
Right.
could have turned
The next time I'll let you turn loose. But
you know,
yeah, next time I'll let you turn loose.
because you know I am a basketball
send
historian.
me the PowerPoint, John. Send me the PowerPoint. Don't. I'll look at it and see where you're coming from.
Right?
for that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Let's see it.
But definitely, XFL STL live show coming up next. MMWA wrestling show.
Right here, I like this one, Corey. Is the XFL going to do better than the NFL here in St. Louis?
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be 100% honest and real. No, it's not gonna do it in the first season. Because
Denver, Colorado's calling. Denver, you're on the air. Go
go
ahead.
ahead, man.
Hey, I just wanted to ask, is there going to be any former Denver Bronco quarterbacks going to be chosen in the XFL? Paxton Lynch or Trevor Siemian? I'm not really fond of Paxton Lynch. I haven't seen him for a few years, and he can't throw a ball at all, so I just wanted to ask. And Trevor Siemian was very confident, class leader for the Denver. He should have been on the quarterback.
Hey,
Vince Joseph passed on him.
Well, here's what I'll say about Trevor Siemian. Like our caller earlier, this league is going to be designed for certain players, and I think a guy like Trevor Siemian, because he was really good in college, it's going to be a more fast-paced game. I think he could possibly succeed.
Hey man, if Paxton Lynch can't throw a football, man, he shouldn't even be looking at the XFL either. I'm sorry.
Right? Yeah.
So I mean, but I get what you're saying. I do, because like Dirty said, there are certain players are going to do. I think it's going to do better in this league more than they can with the NFL.
I think out of those two, I think it'll be Trevor Siemian more than it'll be Paxton Lynch.
Hey man,
That's
I want
my
to see
opinion.
my man out of University of Connecticut, man, David Pendale.
Yeah.
I want to see him for real. He has a Michael Vick type game.
Right. Well, now let me ask you, caller, what's your name?
My name is Jared.
Jared. Okay, so you're in Denver. You guys don't really have an XFL team. So how did you get turned on to the XFL?
Well, this is easy to say. I've been a Broncos fan forever, but I think the NFL has gotten way worse as rule changes have changed the league and made it worse of a league. And so I'm rooting for the XFL because at the 25-yard line, there's no kickoff returns.
many other things that get changed every single year that I absolutely can't stand. And I think I don't like Roger. I'm cheering for that fellow to return, and take over this place. And I love the TV deal. I think it's fantastic. So I'm hoping it's a bright future for it. So that's my take on it.
So now let me ask you this one. How did you find us?
Just Facebook, searching for pages and stuff, and I think YouTube probably. So I got you guys on there, and so I've been watching you guys' show the past few months, and I've been watching like XFL news stuff on YouTube and some other stuff. So it's great. So you guys keep up the great work on your show. So
well, cool, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for calling in.
Well, thank you.
My opinion, I think Trevor Siemian will be the guy that gets picked up. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think he has a great. He made those when he was with the Broncos. I thought he had a really good rookie year. Unfortunately, like his second or so year, he didn't do so well. Paxton Lynch, he was a first-round pick, and he ended up getting passed up by a seventh-round pick from Simeon, and also Kyle Sloter kicked his ass as an undrafted player. So, okay, that's all I want to say. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you for watching us, man. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Bye.
Oh, man.
Man, we got fans in Colorado, baby. Thank you, Jared.
Indeed.
Hey, we talked about it. Trevor Siemian. I liked him. I thought he was good.
Yeah. Until he got out there and started playing.
Yeah, right. But I think, again, like a guy like Johnny Manziel will succeed in this league. I think this league is built for a guy like Tim Tebow.
Here's my thing with Tim, man.
You can
Tim
say whatever you want. The dude's a proven winner. He did it. How many championships did he win in college?
2 or 3, one of them.
When he came in, they were 1-8. 1-8. What did he do?
Time to the playoffs. But here's my thing, man.
He's a proven winner.
No, I don't. Yes, he can win, man. But here's my thing, man. He's just not. I'm surprised he's still doing baseball.
Dude, he's tearing it up, though.
In what?
He's AAA.
He's doing crap.
Oh,
he's doing crap. Man.
Oh, yeah. Stop it. But
crappy,
yes,
man.
I think you give the XFL a little bit of time here in St. Louis. I think because it is a homegrown thing.
Now,
it's a grassroots thing, just like us. We literally started this because we were like, "Oh shit, let's get on this." We got on it. Thanks to all of you guys for tuning in every week and every Wednesday when we were on Mondays, for going to our page, like us. It's to you guys. Thank you. It's you guys who are going to make it succeed here in St. Louis. And it's the guys like Jared up in Denver, the guys like Javier down there in Orlando that are going to make this league succeed.
Hey, man, I am really, once it succeeds, I'm rooting for Orlando and San Diego to get teams.
Yeah.
I want them two to get teams. And if San Antonio, but you know how Jerry Jones is going to get.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, it's alternative. They shouldn't even be caring. They should actually embrace it.
Right. This is the XFL Talk Show. I am Dirty. Sitting right over there is the one, the only.
The A-Train, Arlington Laney of the In the Zone Network. Make sure you go to AllianceXFL.com. You can also go to the In the Zone Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And make sure you always, go like XFL STL.
That's right. And if you like what we did.
And if we went too loud tonight, please tell us.
Thanks, Fred.
We accept all criticisms. And with that being said, we love each and every one of you guys.
And we will see you guys
next week.
Next